I think I go that way.
This way?
Yeah.
Hey!
How much that my
Woo! Family! Okay, I'm gonna see how it goes. We live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read this over here. Hey, Bookie.
She's live. Okay, here you go. Oh, I love the circle. Okay, I can then. You holding live, then I could do photography. Yeah, we're live.
Yes.
Hey.
Hi.
Come on through, guys. Come on through.
Live. We're with the girlfriends at a long walk home. Everyone say hey. Hey. We're also with the amazing Elizabeth Gerald. Yes, mother of the amazing and dynamic Marcy Gerald that we are honoring and celebrating today. So everyone say hey to Miss Gerald. Hey. Yes. So we're just gonna bring a few more people in. Yeah. Live. All right, so I think we're gonna just start with our first question. Right? We spoke about last week. We spoke last week.
Yeah.
And in an earlier conversation that we had, you talked about how Marcy identified herself. She used these words of affirmations. I am Black Girl Resilience. I am Black Girl Power. Black Girl Magic. So can you just share with us a little bit more about who is Marcy? Okay. And what kind of things were her favorite things?
Well, Marcy was I guess, an average teenage girl. She went to Old Boston High School. She was an honor roll student. She went to be a Supreme Court justice. She got to debate with me. Let me girl. Yeah. Her favorite things were like she liked to debate. Friends. They would go to the park and teenage girls do.
Yeah. Our favorite color is pink.
Pink, yeah.
Yeah. And what does she like to eat?
Stuff like pizza, like the burgers, yeah.
And what was one of her favorites?
She liked it, I think Adele. I don't know Adele. I know she liked the voice of Beyonce. I don't know what Adele song. My son didn't know my singing. I don't know.
You said the song. Thanks for sharing. So I wanted to know, mental health and suicide prevention is a big part of the work that you do as an advocate. And I just want you to tell us a little bit about your activism. And what is the MJG movement and Marcy's Law?
Okay. Well, I decided to turn my pen into my power. And I lost 2 kids, not one. I lost my stepson to homicide and my daughter to suicide. But I chose to go more on her because, when my daughter died, people would say to me, aren't you embarrassed to tell people she attempted suicide and people don't want to speak on the sexual assault? What does she have on? Was she fast? Was she this? And in our community, for some reason, they choose to blame the victims. And once you start doing research, you see that suicide, mental health, sexual assault, domestic violence are very high in our communities, but because of the stigmas and taboos, we don't talk about it. It's like, the police shootings, outrage, but everything else is crickets. And I think everybody deserves justice because of our pain is the same because our kids are not coming back, and it just when they kind of divide. So I try to do things a little bit different because a lot of the activists, they're more detrimental. And what I mean by that is it's the behind the scenes stuff people don't see. So a lot of the different mothers, they have their own different groups. They don't like each other, they get shut out because the different activists put certain mothers on pedestals because their child might have a issue versus your child didn't like know that. And so I decided to treat MJG movement because we're all the same. I want to treat everybody fairly. I want everybody to know that we are loved. Our kids are loved. Our kids are wanted. And so that's why I treated, decided to do books my daughter. Before I saw my daughter, like I said, she was an honor roll student. She wanted to go to Harvard Law. She wanted to be a Supreme Court justice one day. And one day, her life changed. It wasn't nothing she did when she was coming out of school. And the guy who wasn't supposed to be any floss for her, we don't know when he's seen her or anything. He caught her by herself and then he attacked her and sexually assaulted her. I did get her help, and that's another, something else in itself because, the Flossmoor Coalition referred me to Larvita. Larvita said they didn't have any medicine at the time. They put her on a waiting list. They referred me to YWC. She went to YWC because they're older ones. There really was nobody at her age. So then we had to go to the Lady Foundation, which was good. And then they just went home. They would come to our house because there was still a lot of older people. So what essentially happened with that was, she started becoming better, but she still had like PTSD. She was still terrified of boys. My son couldn't have her talk me over and stuff. She didn't want to go outside by herself. And it was just heartbreaking about the school. So the school ended up putting her in a therapeutic school called the Mansion in Naperville, and it's a therapeutic school for girls who are sexually assaulted. You still have to be an honor roll student because it's Naperville. But she did go there until she passed. After the sexual assault, she started wearing dark color. She stopped wanting to get her hair did. She stopped wanting to get her nails did. My daughter was maybe 100 pounds, and so she went down because she didn't want to eat anymore. She would take baths, sometimes just scrub herself dry because it was not good. It was a mighty day. Yeah. So I decided to turn my things to my power and became a
So you turning your pain into your power. You're doing some really amazing work with advocacy as far as like Marcy's Law. Can you talk a little bit about that? And also you have this really dope shirt that you got on right now. That is very powerful. It's a sign of power. It's a sign of reclaiming your power back,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And so can you talk a little bit about that shift from your pain to your power?
Well, as far as the shirt, I have a comic book, and it's a Black Girl Resilience project comic book. I just finished my second one. And I do things I know my movement want me to do. And I think all about her. As far as like my organization and my advocacy, I never knew it would grow. And to be honest with you, a Black woman talking about these things, things gonna grow. But when I first started out, I was talking about like the sexual assault and the suicide, and I started having small little girls like on Facebook and Tony Virtual, and it got to the point where I could it just started going.
And then what is Marcy's Law?
So Marcy's Law and Marcy's just a lot first. So what I'm working on is I would like the guy who assaulted her to be charged with her death. So he can't be charged with murder, but he can be charged with murder. So Marcy's law would be if a person calls them somebody to take their life, whether it's domestic violence, sexual assault, whatever, then they can change for manslaughter. And it's not the first one. Minnesota actually did it. They man beat his wife to the point where she took her life and they charged her with her. And Wisconsin did the same thing. The guy was charged with manslaughter because he was a point he burned to a point where they charged him. Pretty much that.
Thank you for your word, the lengthy word. I just want to know, so we are honoring Marcy on the altar with nameplates. It's under the Forgive Me Not sign, and kind of using like this idea of black aesthetics. The nameplate very black girl, like, hoop earring, just like bedazzled jewelry. What do you think Marcy would like to put on the altar? What would she want on the altar?
Well, we have the comic book, the lip gloss, what else? She used to make, one of the things she used to make like soaps as well. And I think I still have some. I'm giving some of the soaps out. I think I got one or two like that. I'm sure.
What did you say? What is
Soap. She had soaps.
And we have the lip gloss, I was saying, on the
Yeah,
altar.
but I think I still got one or two soaps that she actually made herself.
Thank you. This work is really difficult and hard. How do you ground yourself? How do you hold yourself prepared?
Well, one of the things I do is when I feel like I have to take a break, I know. Just take my butt down somewhere and do it. You know what I have to do. I have my grandkids with me, so they keep me on my toes. But one of the things people don't realize, you have to stay busy. Because if you sit in the house, you will really swim down, go to the being or eating. And you'll be like, I should have did this, I should have been washing, I should have. So, that's when, any parent that I know has lost a child, gets sick, give them cancer, some kind of illness, because they don't really get out to do it. When you get out, you kind of stay active, you actually help you a lot. So that's one of the reasons I think I stay so active.
You look young. Don't you look young? Thank you. What do you think your superpower is? As mine, I think like motherhood is a very superhero feat for the most part, or just caring for people's just
I
things.
would say my resilience. I just don't be having. You got some people that if you can say no to them, my daughter has a higher platform to train on, and she was not sure. Black girl, she's not sure, such a high platform, and that's not what it is. And they keep saying yes, even if doors are shut. Keep on, it's not going to
So I want to just open the floor up to questions from anyone who might have questions. How's everyone feeling this week?
That's okay. Love, so anything you guys want to say?
I have a question. What is your black girl superpower?
My black girl superpower. My black girl superpower. I would just have to say. Pretty much my resilience, I would say. Because I just don't take no. I don't settle. I just don't settle. My resilience, because I just don't settle. I don't take no.
How does it feel for you to just continue to do this work to honor your daughter Marcy? You see her name in different platforms and you go to different events and talk about her. Like, how do you prepare for that and how do you feel while in that space?
It's actually a good feeling. And, I guess you never can prepare for it because it's just always, it's always so much. And then, you just just never know. And then when people call me and say they're honoring her, and you see her name or different things, it's always like wow. And you know, always get emotional and cry and like, oh my God. It's really
You spoke about wanting men to sit down and take a break. And I just wanted to know, what do you do for care?
when I sit down, when I do prepare, I just don't, I kind of, you know, I deal with my grandkids, and I play with them, and I make it about, you know, just home family pretty much. I have to, you know, it's pretty much home family up there.
No question.
If Marcy were alive today, what do you think that she would be doing? What would her life be like?
She was about to bet she'd been Harvard. Law school. It's a good justice.
What? Has there ever been a time
Yeah.
that you've ever like gotten scared? Has there ever been a time that you've ever scared?
Yes, plenty of times, you know, you get discouraged and, you know, like when I said, when I first started out, me being a black woman talking about this, you know, it's just hard because like I said, in the black community, it's our people that be like, you know, aren't you embarrassed or ashamed that some people died by suicide? And, you know, it's my child. You know, how can we sit there and openly say this? And, you know, when it came to her, but what was she wearing and this, that, and the other? And as people started really seeing it and hearing me talk, the same people who would turn around and say, aren't you embarrassed? They started coming to me telling me, well, you know, I lost a person. But they would say it was cancer or something else because they were embarrassed to say suicide or, you know, one thing I learned, there's so many women who've been in here, so I'm gonna say that, who've been sexually assaulted, but they didn't get justice, so they walk around with all that anger, hurt, and pain, and you know, they have so many traumas and stuff right now that they can't relate to these things, who they're supposed to do, you know, and like, there's ones that just want to make home the angry black woman, but they're not angry black women or angry black men, they just have a trauma, and they don't know how to do that pain.
A two-part question. One is for people who are struggling with mental health. What would you advise for them? You've gone on experience with so many people. What is something that you could share? Help them.
One of the things is when people reach out to me, I do have doctors that I can refer them to because I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to go to doctors, you know, I try my best to talk. We got some people that still like, ooh, I'm not going to a doctor, I'm not doing this, we don't want to, I just want the family to know or everything, whatever else. So sometimes I'll just be that listening ear, I may be that punching bag, they're not hitting me, but sometimes people need to sit down and cry, and, you know, I just have to hold them, and you'll be surprised. So, you know, but it's only so much I can do, but I can encourage them.
So encouraging people to get professional help. It sounds
Yes,
like.
that's my biggest thing. I
And
always,
then community sounds like that you've been listening.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we gotta learn to just be kind to one another, start showing love and appreciation. You know, out of all the events I've done, I did one in Maryville, Indiana, and I was the only, you know, African American person there. When I first walked in, I was like, oh Lord. And I was kind of nervous. And it was a stop suicide, and I think opioid abuse or something. And I was the only African American there, and so I was kind of nervous, like, oh, what I've been walking to. But what I've seen is that in their community, they have so much love and support. I mean, they brought the babies and wearing pets. Even their pets were there to get emotional support. The fathers, the mothers, they were there hanging on. They were showing love. I mean, I don't really see that when I go to events for us like I do with them. I really, and that's one of the things that really encouraged me to really start pushing, saying, I want for us as black women to get that sistership and the men, and, you know, it's just so, we have so much division about it. So then I like the time they said to watch YouTube videos because there's certain, the guy, I think a guy named Kevin said, I told you about him a few years ago, a couple of years ago, the guy died, and he would say discouraging things about black women, but he got a high following because of the stuff he said about us. And there were so many men that would think it's funny and there's something wrong with them, but it's just that we gotta learn to you gotta learn to show love, you gotta learn to show that appreciation, you gotta learn to just be there. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things I would like to see better about our community.
I just want to piggyback off your question.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to know, Elizabeth, what would you tell our
I'm gonna ask you more
girls
questions.
do you have a message for the girls that sit in this room right now about anything?
Well, I want y'all to know that y'all are loved, y'all appreciate, y'all want it, y'all want somebody, you know. Don't ever let nobody tell y'all anything else.
You had a question and then.
She been waiting patiently.
Yeah.
If you could say one more thing to her after, before she, passed away, what would you say? What would exactly you do for her to not, go through what she did?
The last thing my daughter said to me was, I love you, Mom. And I said, I love you back. I don't think there's nothing else I can say. She took the bottle of Tramadol. I didn't know she took it, but that day she had, we had came back and she was just upstairs and we had took a plea deal for the guy to get 10 years on white parole. And he never showed any remorse. He kept laughing, he would wait. I mean, and, they do, a lot of, sometimes these guys, I don't know why, but they laugh. He just never showed no remorse for some of the stuff that he was saying. He just kind of really just made her feel worse. So he pretty much blamed her. He couldn't help himself. That's why he did what he did. And he made me say it was her fault. And I kept asking her to pump me, so she said no. She didn't ask me to make her some bell water. And she wanted me to put lavender oil and chamomile oil for her, and I did. And she was talking about 3 hours. I kept saying, Marcy, okay? I kept checking on her. And she said, yeah. So when she finally got out, I said, you need something to eat? And she said, yeah. And I said, okay. So I went to do a laundry, and I said, well, I'm going to lay down for a while down here. And so maybe around 11:30 or so, she came downstairs, and she said, I love you, Mommy. And I said, okay. And she got me there with me. It wasn't nothing different because she's something like sister. So, and I woke up the next morning and I tried to let me say, Marcy, we go. And nothing happened. He said, Marcy, we go. So I sat her up and I got up and I was shaking and screaming that I expressed my son. And she was gone. So she made on me what she was going to do. The last words was, I love you, Mommy. I love you. I love you. That's what I do. That's all I say.
I have a when people leave us physically, it's really, really hard, especially knowing the pain that people physically go through. But there's still that spiritual connection. You talk a little bit about the spiritual realm that I know you still have dialogue with her. So what is that like? And how does that feel you?
Okay, so I buried her on Friday, and then that Sunday was like a really bad thunderstorm, and I could just feel her presence, like she was just there, and and it's weird. And the thing is, I had some RC, I was there, and then the thunder went off, and then I said, "Are you with your, dad and your aunts and uncles and thunder?" And there was another thunder, and I said, "Are you scared?" Nothing happened, and then I said, "Are you okay?" And the thunder. And it's as if she was saying she's okay. And then I said, "I got you down here, baby." And then a couple of days later, we went out in the backyard, and the tree had a heart on it that was never there. So, and I said, I sent you a picture of the tree, like she had carved a heart in the tree. I sent her the picture of the tree.
I'll show you about the name.
Yeah. Like she let me know. So, people say you're gonna go to hell and stuff. She caught the heart machine.
Yeah. Pain or power?
All right, so thank you for one. And it's been, so many of you guys don't know this, but I shared
Yeah,
And
but
so
it was. It happened.
it took us like 3.5 years later for this moment to happen. And so we're just wanting to uplift
Yes.
you and your work as well as go deeper connection to how to bring awareness to Marcy's story and honoring her and all this. So I just want to thank you for like sharing so much of you as well as her with us today as we transcend to RBK.
Yes.
And also just want to shout out LaShonda being here because this is a really, this topic is triggering for a lot of folks. Struggling with mental health, struggling with suicide ideation, also sexual assault and healing. And so please, I thank you, LaShonda, even though you're going to be here, but like if you need LaShonda today, if you need her after today, please tap into the resources here at Long's Home as we are conversating and
Thank you all for being so